What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So here to recap the Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders, where the Broncos complete the season sweep, winning their 10th straight game. I mean, if you would have told me at the start of the year that they were going to win 10 straight games this year, I don't think I would have believed you, especially with literally 2 years ago going through the Russell Wilson experience. But man, it's been a crazy turnaround, but super thankful that the team got to be in this position because, man, it was rough. It was definitely rough, but definitely worth the wait to be experiencing the success that we're going through now. So, first off, though, some takeaways on this game that I want to talk about is looked like we had a little bit of a running game resurgence. I felt like RJ Harvey had a good game in this one. Same with McLaughlin. I think that they're a pretty good duo. I'm glad that McLaughlin were able to keep him around. I think he's just like a ball of energy. Every time McLaughlin gets it, he has like an electric run, whether it's for short yardage or, picking up first downs. But yeah, I think Harvey in this one, I'll look at the stats in a second. I think he had 17 carries, 75 yards. But the thing is, the Broncos' time of possession in this game was what really got me. They possessed the ball for 39 minutes, 3 seconds. The Raiders only 20 minutes and 57 seconds. So, I mean, that's a huge, that's double, basically. I mean, they had two really long drives in this game where they were running the ball effectively. They had good passing plays drawn up that were working. So, all in all, they were dominating in the trenches in this game. And then another thing, the penalties. Seemed like the penalties weren't happening as much in this one. I think that they had 8 penalties. But, no, take that back. No, the penalties are bad. Sorry. It's been a rough weekend with the whole windstorms that I'm going through and everything. The penalties, they had 2 delay game penalties, and the 8 penalties cost over 50 yards in this one. So that's something they do need to clean up, especially with the 4-game gauntlet that they have coming up these next 4 games. There were some drops in this one. There was a Troy Franklin big drop, which he's had games like that this year where there's been deep balls to him and he's dropped them. And then he had a 4th and 3 bobble that probably would have got us points. And that was not the case. So, but all in all, all these things, and we're still won 10 straight games. So, it was a lot better than the first matchup against the Raiders. But, we still got a lot of room for improvement even after this one. And something that I don't see often, punt return. Got a 50-yard punt return by Marvin Mims. It looked like he had got wrapped up and then he had broken the tackle and just went to the outside, and he was pointing out blockers, and sure enough, got into the end zone. And at that point, the game was 7-7. That was a huge touchdown to kind of, take the air out the building, even though a lot of Broncos country showed up in Vegas. Shout out to Broncos country traveling down there, and even the fans that live there, because there's a lot of orange in that stadium. But yeah, that was a big turning point to me in that game. And I was waiting. I was like, come on, we need to get a score here. Sure enough, Marvin Mims gets it. That made it 14-7. And then there was really no looking back from there. Another player I want to talk about is Pastertan. He did not play very well in this one. He had a couple penalties. He had, PI. It was some like things that he doesn't normally do. I felt like he was grabbing a little too much. I don't know if that's just because he's been out of game shape. He hasn't been playing that much, or I don't know what it is, but everybody has a bad game. I'm not really too worried about it because I know he'll bounce back. But yeah, it's something to point out because definitely uncharacteristic. But I do expect him to bounce back. But the crazy thing is he was getting all the calls on defense. Riley Moss, like the whole game, was getting any calls. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. I was like, I guess Moss is having a good game. Then at the end of the game, he gets a wide open touchdown up. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that balances everything out. I feel like if he's getting the PI calls, he doesn't give up touchdowns. But every time they don't call penalties on him in a game, he gives up a wide open touchdown. I don't know why. I guess that's just how they got to balance it out. Yeah. So, yeah, another player, though, Bo Nix, he was great in this one. Same with Court. But, yeah. Defense, though, I was like, oh, boy, here we go. We have another Commanders game coming where defense just was not looking like themselves. When they started out the game, because the Broncos went down, they scored an opening drive touchdown, which is something that we don't see that much, which is crazy to say. And then Raiders go down right away and score a touchdown. I was like, wow, on our defense, they get a touchdown right back. Okay. I was like, are we in for another Commanders game? Thankfully, though, looks like they were able to lock in there for a little bit, but it was such a weird fourth quarter. When we were up 24-7, we had the ball in field goal range. We ended up running it on 4th and 3 and not getting it. I don't understand that call. I would have kicked the field goal, made it 27-7 because it's never over. Or maybe it was 24-14. But, yeah, I just don't get that. And then the defense right away gives up a touchdown. I'm like, wow, okay. Making Kenny Pickett look like prime Brady out here, just marching on our defense. And then they end up getting the ball back with not a lot of time. And then the Raiders went down. They kick a field goal. Pretty sure everybody knows that it takes about 5 seconds off the clock every time you kick a field goal. They were thinking that they were going to get it back, apparently. Sure enough, they kick it. They make it a 7-point game, but the clock runs out. And a lot of people are saying that this game, it had to hit someone's parlay, But, yeah, it was a very strange ending. I was like, whatever happens, as long as the Broncos don't lose this game, it is what it is. I've seen enough. Not worried about the garbage time points, but still, it was a little strange. I can't lie. But another guy I got to talk about, Nick Bonito, baby. He had 2 sacks in this one. That's the Nick Bonito we were seeing at the beginning of the year. The guy who people were saying could be a DPOY. Finally had another 2-sack game. He's got 12.5 on the season, which last year he had 13.5. So he's only 1 sack from tying that with 4 games to go. He's definitely going to get that. And who knows, he could be a 15-plus sack pass rusher this year. So there's that. I'm going to look at the stats again. Yeah, Bo Nix, he was pretty accurate. He was 31 for 38. That was it. He had the rushing touchdown, 212 yards. He was kind of managing the game in this one, but if he needed to make a play, he could. He had one nice throw in this one where he was eyeing Devin White, and he threw the ball to Cortland Sutton wide open. But yeah, I mean, that was a good play right there. Yeah, I was right about the Harvey. Genty, yeah, we stuffed Genty. He only had 10 carries, 30 yards. Geno Smith, when he played, he was 13 for 21 for a touchdown and 116 yards, which, yeah, we injured him. I felt like we beat him up in that first matchup. Raiders definitely got to get him an O-line because every time we play them, we're just getting to him. Early in the game, though, he was getting the ball out quick, I noticed. But it just wasn't holding up. Like once the Broncos were like, okay, let's try doing this, then the line was like, all right, we're not able to hold them anymore. So yes, 6 catches, 62 yards. Crosby did have a sack in this one. But I got to shout out my guy, Mercedes Lewis. The Broncos called him up from the practice squad to be on the active roster in this game, and he was blocking Crosby a couple plays. I thought he did a good job. I was like, not too bad for a 41-year-old tight end. I was like, all right. We'll go to the team stats. Total yards, 356 for Denver, 229 for Vegas, 0 turnovers for both sides. 27 first downs for Denver, 16 for Vegas. We had the 8 penalties for 50 yards. Yeah, that's got to go down because you look at the Raiders, they only had 3 penalties for 25 yards. That's doable. That's what we need right there. Third down conversions. Denver, 7 for 12. Vegas, 3 for 9. Fourth down, Denver, 1 for 3. Vegas, 1 for 3. In the red zone, Denver was 2 for 3, and Vegas was 1 for 2. Look at the rest of the stats here. Another guy who I forgot to shout out. Yeah, this is just a team dominant victory for Denver. Adam Prentice. I think that's there. Adam Prentice. Yeah, we had a little fullback action in this one. He had a big first down run. Kept the chains moving. Yeah, he finished with 2 carries, 22 yards, but he had some good plays in this game. Maybe he's the power back that Denver needs. They're going to have to use a little bit of that fullback. They're going to probably sprinkle him in the offense a little bit more, which I'd like to see that. It's cool seeing the fullbacks get a little love out there. Yeah, McLaughlin, he was 4 carries, 22 yards. Beatty, 4 carries, 16 yards. Pat Bryant, second leading receiver, 4 catches, 32 yards. Little Jordan Humphries, 3 catches, 27 yards. Harvey had some catches, 6 catches, 25 yards. Everybody else was 20 or lower. Let's see. We had 4 sacks. Yeah, Benito had 2. Malcolm Roach with 1, and John Franklin Myers had the other. Yeah, Marvin Mims with the punt return touchdown. And at Vegas, they had 3 total sacks. Jeremy Chin had 1, and then Crosby, obviously, and the other one was Tonka Hemingway. Receiving for them, 6 catches for their rookie Jack Beck. Yeah, he was kind of having himself a game. But yeah, it was only 50 yards, but it seemed like critical yards that he was getting. Brock Bowers, we did a good job against him again. I think he had 1 catch, 31 yards in the first matchup. He only had 4 catches, 46 yards in this matchup. Tyler Lockett, 3 catches, 41 yards. And then Cedric Jackson, yeah, he had that 1 catch, 25 yards for the touchdown. And then Trey Tucker, 2 catches, 24 yards. I'm not even going to go over the other guys. Or Ian Thomas, I guess. 2 catches, 17 yards. Yeah, the only guy rushing was Genty. That was it. We shut down the run game. They weren't trying anybody else. Pickett, though, we'll throw him out there. He had 8 completions, 11 attempts for 97 yards and a touchdown pass. Anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Don't have any bonus talk in this one, but got a 4-game gauntlet coming up. And, boy, we got a tough one coming this Sunday. But I unlike some Bronco fans I've heard, am excited for this matchup because it's a great measuring stick game just to see where we're at. I mean, I want to see what we look like against a good team. We got a really good team with Green Bay, Packers coming into town. Thankfully, these last 4 games, 3 of the 4 are in Denver, so we got that. But anyway, we'll have a recap for that coming out Wednesday, potentially Thursday, but I'm going to try for Wednesday. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed the vid. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. On that, stay safe, be good, go Broncos. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.